One of the greatest scams that recently did end up popping up in modern history that you might have already seen all over the news is about the situation of what happened over the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. The big idea is that the background story to this is that there was an exchange called FTX, and long story short is that a lot of the people that traded on that platform lost a lot of money. Additionally, what made this particularly special and one of the greatest scams in history is that it was also a company that was actually promoted by many major figures, from things such as like finance YouTubers, celebrities, many advertisements, endorsements. The NBA had a stadium called literally the FTX Arena all the way down in Miami, so shout out to the Miami Heats over there. Now, a little bit of a background information is that I am someone that does not promote FTX, so what maybe will make this video special is that you are hearing something from a neutral perspective. I don't promote FTX. I've never promoted FTX. I always had hesitation because I don't like to promote something I don't fully believe in. And I think the big idea also is just because I'm also someone that has been in the cryptocurrency world for more than about let's just say 5 or more years, even something around maybe 2017. So I'm not someone that's speaking as like a new person that just walked into the cryptocurrency world. I've been here, I've been in bear markets. I think it's because I've been in a bear market, that's why I'm a lot more cautious than the average person. I'm a lot more on guard and a lot more protective. And I think because of that reason, what I really want to do is that in today's video, I want to talk about the background story to what's going on with the FTX situation so everyone can kind of keep up to date. If you are completely out of the loop, this is the video for you. If you are someone that is familiar with FTX, then I want to explore it in even greater details. I want to talk about where the money went, and then I want to maybe just offer some personal thoughts. So hopefully something for every single person here, regardless of your current status with or relationship with FTX, whether you are an investor or you're just trying to hear a story. So with that being said, let's just get this video started right on the spot. So maybe real quick before we begin, if you guys enjoy videos like this and hope to share support, maybe consider smashing the like button, or you can watch to the end to decide. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell for similar videos like this. And of course, as always, feel free to comment any questions, maybe personal thoughts about what you think. Or if you were someone that sadly lost money in this particular process, huge best wishes for that. Feel free to leave a comment about that as well, because I know it's been a very drastic, and I think it's important for people to kind of just express themselves about this particular situation. But back to the actual background story. So the story with what happened with FTX is that it really just started with a token called FTT. And so the story is that back then, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's basically the major leader inside of everything that ended up happening. He started a company called FTX, and within FTX he also started a token called FTT, which is a token that you can use to sort of trade around and also invest in other kinds of cryptocurrency. What really ended up happening is that he created one of the greatest schemes in history, or certainly in modern history, where people were basically putting money and buying his token FTT and trying to make, keyword is they're trying to make money out of it. However, as he was growing in popularity, it obviously meant that he was also starting to make even more money. And so what he actually specifically did with that money as he was making more money and becoming more richer is that he would start to spend it on a bunch of extravagant experiences, but also some practical ones as well. He would spend it basically on funding his Alameda research project. That's a project that basically they just do research related to investing. He was funding his own project right there. He was doing it to basically endorse a lot of candidates. He was using it to sort of market and advertise his company even further, which meant that even more people started to learn about it. And it's like the saying, it's easier to make money when you have money. And this was the perfect example where he really lived it out. He took his money and used it to basically advertise for different companies, or for his particular company, but through other companies. He would advertise with the NBA, he would partner with celebrities, he would partner with political candidates, he would support all sorts of different causes, and I'm sure he even also spent it on his own particular pleasurable, extravagant experiences. I believe supposedly he was a gamer, so he probably spent it on gaming. He probably spent it on being able to take vacation trips, to fly out to the Bahamas because that's where the company is based. He bought real estate with it. He bought properties. He just spent it all over the different places. But the problem is that the money that he was spending wasn't actually his money. It was money that was given to him as a loan put onto the exchange from people like us. I didn't do it, thankfully, but I know a lot of people, huge prayers, because I know there was a lot of people that did. There were many people that basically gave him money, and that money that people gave him, that's where he got the money to fund all these projects. Essentially, he was someone that, and that's why it's considered one of the greatest scams in history, was because he took other people's money, and essentially used it to fund his own projects. But the problem with this particular strategy is that if the money's not yours, eventually you're going to have to pay back the money. You're going to have to give back the people their money. And so what happened is that he essentially took new money that was coming in and used it to pay back the debt of old money. So in other words, the earlier people that did it. Essentially, if there was a group of people, let's say group A, that basically put a couple $1,000s into the project, he took that couple $1,000s, he used it to spend it to sort of advertise, spend it on his own pleasurable activities, whatever, just like we mentioned before. Then what happened is that we would have a new group, let's say group letter B now, come in, they would learn about it, group C would come in and learn about it, group D would learn about it, but they would consistently add money into this box. And so eventually they would take that money and now pay back group A, pay back group B, exactly like in this particular cycle, until there are no more groups, or in other words, until they reach group Z and there are no more letters to pop up. What ends up happening then is that the money stops flowing in, but the problem is that now he's in severe debt. And the problem is that not only is he in severe debt, but when he can't potentially pay back the money anymore and there's no money, new money coming in because people are starting to catch on to his scheme, that is when the collapse happens. And that is when FTX officially collapses, which is basically what happened on the time of this release date of this video, about 2 to 3 weeks ago. The specific statistic is that supposedly at the very peak and height of his career, he had a net worth of about $26 billion. So it really gives you perspective. I believe he's only about 30 years old. So the wild thing is that it gives you perspective that someone that was basically just right around 30 years old, born in the 90s, which is actually when I was born as well, because I'm also a 90s kid, someone right around that age was able to parlay his investment all the way to $26 billion, which is insane. But as when the cryptocurrency started to crash downwards and fall, it ended up dropping his net worth all the way down to just a little bit short of $1 billion. But the problem is that you also got to keep in mind is that while he has it as his official net worth, he's also in a lot of debt. Once you factor in the debt, which is what ended up happening, they found out that his net worth was actually something in the negative numbers, because that was how much money he owed the people. It just was not something that he was physically exposed to in the beginning. So in other words, you can say is that he took part in one of the greatest Ponzi schemes out in history. And what was even more incredible and amazing, even if it's for a sad reason or a hard, difficult, obviously not a very easy reason to communicate, is that he managed to do this with very successful figures. Many major large YouTubers fell into it. Many celebrities fell into it. Many political candidates, campaigns all fell into it. Even the NBA managed to name a stadium after his company fell into it. And that just is to show you how powerful of an influence he really had at the height of his campaign. But of course, what is the biggest lesson from all of this stuff is really about being able to just protect yourself. So if you are someone that sadly lost money from this, I can certainly say is that while I did not lose money here, I can say as someone that has been in the cryptocurrency space for the better part of about 5 years now, I've made money, I've lost money, I've lost a lot of money, if anything, which is really sad. But the big idea is that I feel you right there. And I think if there's any particular lesson, it's just to be very on guard, to make sure that you take that money and you remove it off of any particular exchange, because even the greatest companies can sometimes go down under. Even the greatest companies that the NBA can sponsor, that celebrities can endorse, can still go down under. And this is exactly what happened over with FTX and the situation that's over there. But of course, hopefully we can be a lot more protective about our money going forward. Hopefully we sort of just learn what we have to do, because cryptocurrency can be a very fun and exciting world, but also a very dangerous one at the same time. And I think that's another big takeaway that we really have to absorb from this. But of course, where we end up going from here, we just have to see in one of the future episodes of The Kevin Show. So that being said, that's pretty much what I really wanted to cover in today's video. So if you guys found that insightful and haven't done so, remember to smash the like button if you guys hopefully did. Consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and as always, feel free to leave a comment about anything. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, stay protective, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.